Oh, hi Mila, how are you today?
I'm very good. It's nice to have a sunny day in Chicago. How are
I
you?
know, I know. Thank you. Yeah, we have sunny day. In Texas, it's always sunny, no matter if it's winter, summer. So
Fortunate.
sometimes you get tired of so much sun.
Mhm.
So I know you're a coach. Uh, well, first you started as an Instagram manager, then you moved on. Can you tell us a little bit more about your story? What happened? How did you move on?
Yeah, how I ended up here. Well, I started off as a virtual assistant actually back in July of 2018. And I did that. It was like basically like this. I knew nothing about it. Excuse me. I was just jumping in, basically diving into the deep end. And as a virtual assistant, a lot of my clients had me do like Instagram stuff, Instagram posting, Instagram captions, just here and there. And I just noticed I had a knack for it more than other stuff. I kind of always attributed it to growing up with social media, so that was really helpful. And yeah, it just stuck. It ended up being something that I really enjoyed. So I started leaning towards doing Instagram managing more. And around the spring of 2020 is when I decided I really wanted to be a coach or just to teach basically on a bigger scale. So started marketing on TikTok, started marketing more on Instagram, and just did a rebrand. It was very scary. Kind of, again, it felt like starting fresh, with something totally new. And yeah, and it's been amazing so far. And now here I am being also a coach and also now being an Instagram manager again for myself, which is all so new to me at this point.
So you're still doing, I mean, both things pretty much, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The actual managing is starting now again, which is interesting.
and I mean, you've grown a lot these past 2 years. What challenges have you faced? From going from, like you said, rebranding from one thing to another. What challenges have you faced?
Honestly, I'd say most of them are just self doubt because starting something new always is scary, even if it's something you feel like you're educated in. So I'd say that's probably the biggest roadblock. And from self doubt comes so many things in its own. So I feel like that was the biggest thing to overcome. And I don't think it's ever something you're just done with, like it's not a one and done. It's something you continuously have to deal with. And that's definitely been it for me.
Okay, and from the people or the students that you have coached,
Mhm.
what are the things that stop them from doing what they have to, achieving what they want to achieve?
Self-discipline, honestly. I feel like I was just reading a book today talking about how we all live on someday island. Like someday I'll do this, someday I'll get my finances under control, someday I'll open my business, someday I'll post, and we just never do stuff. And I think that's one of the hardest things about being a business owner and starting something new is actually just doing it. And I feel like that's the biggest thing I see with all of them, as well as just people that aren't my students that are trying to start something. It's, oh, someday I'll do it, but never
what
actually.
what book is that so we can read it?
Oh gosh, it's I think it's called The Art of Self-Discipline by Trevor Blake. I might be wrong. I literally just got it this morning, but fantastic, fantastic book. It's on sale at Barnes and Noble, so there you go.
Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome to know. I'll look it up. So, what was your dream when you were when you were little? I mean, do you ever had dreams of becoming manager?
An Instagram manager. um, I mean, I had a lot. I always changed my mind. I wanted to be a photographer for a little while. I wanted to be a teacher for a little while. I wanted to be like unemployed and just travel the world and be an influencer for a while. I've always known that I wanted to do something for myself, though. My mother was always that woman that always had her own businesses. She was always doing her own thing, and I remember just really looking up to that and knowing that there was no way I was going to work for someone else. So I always knew no matter what, I was going to be self-made, it was a cool feeling to actually pull it off.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you had someone to look up to. Some people don't have that, but I mean, it's awesome that you had someone to
Yeah.
look up to.
Goodness. Mhm.
So you mentioned previously that you have self doubt, and we know it's commonly known as an imposter syndrome. How did you overcome that?
Like I said, I don't think it's ever something that's just overcome completely. But I think dealing with it begins at knowing that it's not all about you too. I think that really helps me is knowing that the imposter syndrome, maybe let me backtrack a second. For me, it presents itself in the feeling like I'm a fraud or feeling like all of this comes too easily. And the way I soothe that for myself is one, knowing that, it's been a lot of hard work to get to where I am, and that's okay that now it's easier. That's fine. And also, I just lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, I'm here to provide information for people. It's not so much about me or what people think about me or what I'm doing. It's just about getting information from me to other people and kind of pulling myself out of the equation and not worrying so much about myself. Really helps just kind of push through it. But like I said, it's not something I found a cure for yet. I mean, if anyone has, I'd like to know about it. But it's definitely something that needs to be addressed and not just ignored.
Well, I really like what you said. It's interesting when we start not focusing on ourselves and thinking more about helping other people. And I heard that the first time once. I think it was Grant Cardone. I don't know if you've heard of Grant Cardone.
Uh-uh.
He's a sales coach. He's always thinking like, if if you want to do something, don't do it for yourself. Think about all the people that you can help. So stop thinking about you and you and you, but start thinking on how you can help other people. So that's a great way to look at things.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree.
So tell us about social media. I mean, I know you said you started helping other, your whenever you were doing virtual assistant, you were doing Instagram.
Mhm.
But then I didn't meet you in Instagram. I saw you in TikTok.
Oh God.
So how did you change to TikTok and what happened? Tell me
Oh
about that.
my gosh, TikTok wasn't ever part of the plan. I remember my friend Jessica Ward, who's a virtual assistant.
Uh,
She got TikTok and she made one video that like blew up. It absolutely blew up, and she got all of these followers on Instagram and all of this engagement and all these clients. And I was like, I want that. So I downloaded TikTok and I made the video that night. And I was so scared. I felt like a fool because TikTok all has this kind of, it has a certain demographic, right? So
right,
I was
right.
like, oh gosh, what are people going to think of me again? Worrying about that. And I just went ahead and posted the video, and the same exact thing happened to me. It blew up, and it was extremely exhilarating and it was great. So I just kept up with that, not really taking it as seriously as I took Instagram. I decided I wanted to take the approach on TikTok of just pure education, not really having a motive to turn people into clients, just wanting to educate my younger self, essentially, people that were young on TikTok. And it just worked, and it was great. And it's become a wonderful community. It's absolutely insane to be able to connect with so many people. It still feels a little weird hearing that like people found me on TikTok. It's a little strange to hear, but TikTok has been extremely powerful for then my business on Instagram at a certain point, and it's just like a well-oiled machine. Like everything ties into itself, social media wise, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. It's funny because I'm more of a YouTube type of person.
Oh.
I love YouTube. I've done videos for YouTube. Um, it's just I don't know, trying to going into TikTok. I've been like putting it off like for a long time. It's just scary. I don't know.
It is scary, but then again, it's that someday island thing. If you're gonna do it, you just got to do it, and then just take it from there.
Right. So I know you give a lot of advice on TikTok and Instagram. Um, for the people that are listening and just haven't heard from you, what advice would you give about social media general?
Ooh, general advice. Know who you're trying to reach or who you're trying to attract. So if you're a business or you're a creator, if you're a business, let's start with that, trying to sell a product or service, you need to know who you're trying to attract to buy that. And if you're a creator, excuse me, an influencer in anything that's trying to attract brands, you need to know what brands you're trying to attract. And that might seem very simple, but I find that's one of the things people ignore. They're trying to reach everyone, trying to make anyone a client. And if you do that, you're literally going to reach no one. Having a niche is so important so that you can work towards it. Then once you have that, be consistent, post consistently, even if that means just posting on your stories or once a week on TikTok. Just make sure you have a schedule and stick to it. And I feel like those two things are key for growth. And I mean, third is just keep up with the times. Algorithms are always changing. Social media is always changing. Don't fall behind. The second you feel like you know all of it is the second you're going to start falling behind. So educate yourself, listen to podcasts, go read blogs, find social media managers to learn from. Basically, keep educating yourself, and everything just comes with time.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know. Uh, One last thing before we go. What advice would you give to yourself like 10 years? I know you're young. Like, how old are you? Like 24 or something like that?
20. When I saw that question about what advice would you give yourself 10 to 20 years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
I was four.
Oh God. Let's see. When I was 10 years old. I guess any advice I would have given to myself before starting a business or like doing this own endeavor of my own
Uh-huh.
Um, it would probably be to prioritize education. I made the mistake when starting, and I've made the mistake consistently my entire life that I think I know it all. And then that's exactly when I start falling behind or when things start going wrong. So I wish I would have, one, prioritized education when I was younger, so finished high school, done that sort of thing. And then when I first started my business, I wish I wouldn't have been so cocky and would have let other people help me because I would have grown so much quicker. I would have been where I am now so much faster. So education is so important. Whether that's reading books, whether that's, finding a mentor, whether that's finding someone you look up to on YouTube, just educate yourself. I think that's super, super important.
Okay, just making sure you're not. Yeah, I mean, I already kind of like mentioned it, but not only like education, like going to school, right? More like getting
Oh,
to
yeah,
getting knowledge somewhere else.
exactly. Yeah, I won't say much about college because I don't really think college is the best thing ever, but making sure to prioritize education on whatever it is you're trying to do. And education doesn't have to be expensive. It can be with coaches. It can be online for free. There's so many different options. Just educate yourself.
Okay, okay. Any other message to the people that are listening to you that you will want to send out there to the world?
Oh gosh. I mean, if you have something you want to do, just start it. If that's a business, if that's a social media career, if that's being an influencer, if that's being an Instagram manager, having a podcast, just start it. It's obviously people always say, don't worry about what other people think. And it's not as easy as that. Worry about it, but just choose to ignore it and just start. Just find your first step and literally just start. The rest comes with time.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the advice. One last thing. This is off topic, completely off topic. On
Okay.
one of your stories, you put that you will trust the per person with your life if they know what you put in your oranges. It was like a powder. Was it tahin? Was
It was
that?
Tahine. Yes, it
Oh
was.
yeah. You can trust me with your life now.
Of course, I do. Oh my gosh. There were so many people that are like, why are you putting spices on oranges? And I was like, oh man, they're missing out.
I
Throw a little
know.
lime on there, some tahine. Oh, that's all you need.
All right, Mila. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us and sharing your awesome knowledge. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right.